So if you guys have any problems, questions, concern, we also have 2 windows, so we have multiple cameras recording us. So feel free to jump in at any point with questions, comments, or concerns. Okay, guys? So we're going to start off with going on with our itinerary for today. So we're going to open this up just to share it with you guys. And remember, once again, if you guys are part of the Build Association, you guys have this on the Skool app. So if you guys are just jumping on with us, welcome, welcome, welcome. So today in our leadership course, we're going to be discussing multiple topics. So here in our leadership development course, we're going to break down this entire segment into 3 parts. We're going to break this entire segment down into 3 parts, and you're going to see why these 3 parts are so valuable for us as contractors. You're going to see why this has never been discussed and has been shown before when it comes to the skilled trades. So, all in all, if you guys are joining right now, you guys are going to get answers to the next questions. We're going to define leadership. We're going to understand that leadership is action. Leadership is not a position. When it comes to contracting, so many of us are put into a leadership position. You're a foreman, you're a crew lead, get this job done. And guess what? We are based off of the metrics. We are based off of production. We are based off of what we end up doing on the job site. But there's no metric when it comes to leadership. We see the quality, we see the end result, we see the benefits of a great leader, but there's no metric to see and judge a great leader until today. We now will see what a bad leader does on a job site, and then we have to pay the consequences. We have delays, we have employees having issues with each other. But today, we are going to go over the metrics, the identifying markers on finding a leader when it comes to contracting. And that's going to be taking place right over here. So we're going to define leadership as action, not a position. We're going to dissect the 5 leadership principles right here, where it talks about character, trust, vision, work ethic, skill set. And we're going to break down why those 5 principles make you a great leader. We're going to also dissect why it's needed to understand these 5 characteristics and why they are in that specific order. So that's what we're going to be doing today. We're going to be breaking those things down. In our core lesson, that's the meat and potatoes. We're going to understand what each characteristic trait is. Character, trust, vision, work ethic, skill set. Why is it in this order? What does each characteristic mean? What does each trait mean? How do I apply it into my everyday life? And then we're going to have the interacting section. So this is where you guys get to fill in the blanks. If you guys are a part of Build, you have your worksheet. Guess what? This is where you get to start recording. This is where you get to start tackling those Q&As. So at this point, we are going to be able to see and understand leadership in a total nutshell. You're going to be able to understand that leadership is action, not a position. Remember, not a position. Yet in contracting, we're told, hey, keep your head down, be a good worker. That's a great leader. Then we're going to understand why these 5 traits make you a great leader. Character, trust, vision, work ethic, and skill set. Most importantly, we're going to understand why these 5 traits are needed, but why they're in that exact order. You're going to see how one reflects the other. Then we're going to have our fill in the blank worksheet, and then we're going to have open questions Q&A for you guys who are out in the field to ask us here, and we can have that conversation back and forth. But once again, let's jump into the program. I appreciate you guys. So if you have your worksheet, guys, you understand that now we are going to get into the meat and potatoes of everything. How so? Well, you guys are going to see right now what is cooking when it comes to this worksheet. So, once again, if you guys are part of Build, if you guys are a part of the Build Association, you're going to see exactly what we have behind us. And now we're going to open up and share screen so you guys can follow along. So right now, we're going to see and put this into a chart for each and every one of us. We understand when it came to Skool, we have the X and Y axis, X and Y. We're going to see why these character traits are right here and why we're going to see low, medium, high. So let's get into that lesson now for you guys. Boom. So if you guys, are you all able to see the chart, guys, on your end? Just want to make sure. If so, let's continue. So we're going to understand why these principles are so valuable to us as contractors, why it's needed. Because these things put into perspective everything that we need to do as contractors. All righty. So right here, we're going to jump into our builders' traits. And we know we're going to break this down into the 5 traits to build builders, teams, and success. And we come down to here: character, trust, vision, work ethic, and skills. And we're going to see what these 5 things are. But right now, I want you to look at this chart, and you're going to see there's low, medium, and high. And then you're going to see each tier. So we have low, we have medium, and then we have high. And we're going to break down why this is so valuable. We're going to break down right now why we have to put this stuff into perspective. Because once again, we mentioned before in contracting, there is no metric for recognizing or spotting a good leader. There's only seeing or witnessing the results of a great leader or a poor leader. And remember, leadership's not a position. So just because you're a foreman, just because you're a project manager, doesn't mean you're a great leader. But this chart's going to help us put that all into perspective so we can identify what flaws we have. And as we start going through this curriculum, you're going to see not only is this good for us identifying markers, but how we can use this for our team, employee, hiring, firing, or even the right customer. So we're going to break that down. Character. What are some examples of an individual with great character? Well, let's talk about it. What are some qualities of somebody with great trust? What are some qualities of somebody who has a clear vision? All of these things, once again, are never discussed in contracting. But what are some of these examples? Let's jump into it. We understand that so many individuals want somebody with great character. We want to be able to trust our employees. We want somebody who has and believes in our vision, and then great work ethic and skill set. But what do these characteristics actually mean? Let's start with character. We understand that character right now means doing what is right even when no one is looking. True or not, as contractors, we have primarily the responsibility of providing a service to a homeowner for the most part. Yes, there's commercial, but at some point, we are going to be providing a service to said individual. And we may not be on the job site at every time. We want to make sure that our team is being held accountable. Our team is being trustworthy. Our team is working with pride in his work ethic, even when we are not on site. As I speak to you guys this week, there's so many individuals where you guys are telling me about how amazing your employees are, even when something bad happens, but even when something good happens. Why is that? Because these individuals have great character. Character is shown when no one is watching. That's the key. When no one's watching, when the camera's on, please believe me, I'm learning that when the camera's on, it's easy to put on a smile. But when no one's watching, that's one indicator of somebody who has great character. Trust is being reliable and consistent. Remember, consistency is key. I will take, you ever heard that expression? I will take consistency rather than intensity, right? Why is that? Because one is predictable, the other shows up when they want, the other has these spurts of great work ethic and then dissipates. We have employees that are very trustworthy, but then we have others who we not so much trust, right? They'll work hard 2, 3, 4 days, and then they'll drop out and call out, or no call, no show, or get drunk and then now had to call out of work, or get sloppy after a while. We can all imagine a type of person like that. We can all reflect on ourselves on, hey, is that something I'm doing? Am I a trustworthy person? So being reliable and consistent, that's the key word in trust. It builds a strong relations and credibility across teams and client. So when it comes to character, remember, character is who you are when no one's watching. Trust also is based off of consistent, consistency. Keep that in mind, guys. Now we jump into vision. Now, vision could be broken off into many topics. For example, you as a leader, you want to know where you're leading your people. So you have to have a vision. Then you have to give the vision to your employees, or the employees have a vision for themselves, or a customer has a vision on how the project's going to look. So you want to make sure that we have all of these different things in perspective. Because when vision, you want to make sure you understand your vision, that you're selling the vision, or that you're going to provide a service for someone else's vision. So it's a dance that we have to balance. But all in all, what is vision? Vision is setting clear goals for projects, long-term growth. It aligns teams' efforts and fosters unity. So the purpose of vision is not to flex. The purpose of vision is not to, hey, this is what I want. I want to make $1 million. I want to do this. Vision is to have a clear purpose. It's to have a clear goal on what you want to do for your company, what you want to do for your family, what you want to do as a contractor. So if you got to remember that vision is to set a clear goal and expectations. But when you do that properly, that clear goal will foster unity. So that's why it's to understand everything that we're going to be discussing on leadership and these 5 qualities is how each one leads to the next point. And you're going to see why it's in this order. Because after you have the vision, you need the work ethic to execute said goal. So what's that looking like? What's the definition of work ethic? Demonstrating commitment and responsibility sets the tone for your crew and ensures reliability. So what are we doing? We're showing commitment and responsibility. If you have great work ethic, you are trustworthy. True or not? If you are trustworthy, you have great character. If you have great character, even when no one's watching, it's because you have a vision for yourself. You have a vision for the company. Work ethic will now lead you to the last and final step, which is skill set. Continuously improving technical and leadership skills. Skill set. It's improving technical and leadership skills. Enables growth for yourself and your team. It doesn't mean who you are currently. Remember, it's continuously improving. That's the key word, guys. Continuously improving. So it's not a one and done. It's how do you continuously grow? You may be an awesome worker today, but tomorrow could be your day. Just like that. That's why so many people love sports, because they recognize, hey, you can be an awesome team this year, but next year you may flunk. So we have to understand that skill set is constantly improving technical skills. And guess what? If you got great work ethic, that comes from a skill set. because you understand, and it goes vice versa. If you have a strong skill set, you're constantly going to keep improving because you're showing commitment. Commitment is fostering a routine, consistency over here, like we mentioned. This is why all of these things are written, because one feeds the other. And we're going to jump into the chart now. And now we're going to break down the ideal candidate for these individuals. And this is where the lesson gets fun, because this, all in all, is putting into perspective everything you need to do as a leader, everything you need to look out for when you're hiring employees, what you need to do when you're a single individual bachelor, bachelorette, looking for a spouse, or even filtering out your customers. We're going to show you why these 5 traits are so valuable. So these 5 traits lead to leadership. So these 5 traits lead to leadership. We're going to break that down now in this chart, and we're going to rate ourselves from low, medium to high. So now, if you guys understand all of this, let me know, and we can now jump into it more in detail in the next video, or we can break it down. What do you guys think? Let me see. Can I see some of the comments right now from you guys? Let me see. I'm going to stop screen share just so I can see some of the comments. Are you guys able to see? Boom, boom, boom. Sounds better. Backgrounds are blurry. Hopefully looks good. Awesome. Do these 5 traits make sense? Why it's so valuable? Why they're in this order, and how each one feeds to the next? Does this make sense to everybody? Because if it does, we'll move on to the chart, and then we're going to rate ourselves. Looks good. Totally. Perfect. Appreciate you guys. Appreciate you guys. If you guys are seeing value in this, let me know so we can make sure that we're tailoring it right to you guys. So now I'm going to go back to screen share, which is going to hide the comments. So just so you know. But at any point, guys, at any point, let me see right now also with the audio. At any point, if you guys want to jump on and speak, just speak up, okay? Let me see if I can allow you guys to speak. Attendees, allow to talk, allow to talk, allow to talk, allow to talk. So at any point, guys, if you have anything you want to contribute, feel free to jump on. The mic's open, all right? So if you're not going to speak, just mute your mic just so we can keep the audio recording nice and smooth. Okay, guys? That's all I ask. Let's see. Everyone's mic is off. So we'll mute everybody. Okay, mute. Boom. So everyone's muted. At any point, if you guys want to jump on, feel free to jump on. But now let's jump back to this. So boom, boom, get Zoom going, boom, jump into our PDF. And now we're going to jump into this chart. We're going to see why this is so valuable right now. This is my favorite chart to discuss. Why? You're going to see how we can put everything into perspective. So right now, let's clear this off. We're going to go to the top. Building leaders, teams, and success. Trust me, guys, you're not going to want to miss this opportunity. So we understand in reality. Guys, that to be a successful contractor, to become a successful leader, you need to not only maintain, but constantly strive to improve on these 5 character traits. What are these 5 character traits? Character, trust, vision, work ethic, skill set. We see that we put it on the X and Y axis, right? It's all across the bottom. On the left side, we're going to see a range of numbers from 0 to 10. And we're going to see primarily it's in 3-step blocks: low, medium, high, small, medium, large. We're going to see how we fit into this chart. But at the same time, we're going to identify why this is important, because you can say, hey, bro, this doesn't make sense. I just need to show up and work. I just want to work. If you want to keep just working, you're going to see where that ends up. You're going to see where you're going to end up. because there's not sustainable life when it comes to just working, working, working. We already know what the life expectancy of a contractor is. Let's jump into this today. So we understand we have this chart, guys, right? So in this chart, we have our 5 characteristic traits. Let's review them. Character, trust, vision, work ethic, skill set. And we're going to see why these 5 traits are so valuable when it comes to this chart. So we can agree on, if I want to be a great leader, I want to be exceptional in all of these. True or not? So we all want to be here. True or not, guys? We all want to be 10 across the board. If you guys are following along, we want to be 10s across the boards. True or not? That's exactly where we want to be. We want to be a high on character, high on trust, high on vision, high on work ethic, high on skill set. True or not? Let's say this is you, a contractor, right? So contractor. Let's say an employee. Would you want an employee who's 10 across the board? High, high trust, high vision, high work ethic. This is a freaking unicorn. Trust, true or not? Would you want an employee who's hitting all 5 targets? We all understand it's true. So now we have an employee up here. Spouses, 2 across the board. What about a customer? Don't you want a customer who, yeah, we can't gauge for skill set or work ethic, but we can gauge on volume of work. We all want them to have high work, high vision for their own company, high trust that they're going to pay us on time, high character that they're not going to snake us. Right? Customers. So it's safe to say in life, we want somebody who's on this side of the spectrum. What type of people do we not want to hire? True or not, we don't want to hire these individuals who are on the low side of the spectrum. Give them a big X, right? True or not, we don't want these individuals down here. If you have an individual, a customer, an employee, a spouse who you can't trust, who doesn't have good character, low work ethic, low skill set, you might have a lot of issues here, right? Not judging anybody, but you can see where the problems can start. Now, this isn't to judge. This isn't to bash. This is to understand and recognize, hey, where am I currently? Remember what one of the work ethic is and skill set. It's constant commitment to growth. This is only going to offend the people who choose not to grow. So we understand individuals here are not leaders. They may be in a leadership position, but these individuals down here are not good leaders, right? They're not good leaders. Low character, low trust. They're not going to lead anybody anywhere. You may be in a leadership position, just as we mentioned before, as a contractor, many of us are put into these positions. And guess what happens? We mess up on the schedule. We mess up on the type of crews that we have. We always have people end up fighting. There's no peace. There's no unity. Remember vision, unity with a clear goal. And we have just so much friction here. Now that we understand the top half is good and the low half is bad, now let's break this down into segments of the left and the right, because we did this top half, right? So with that, we're going to clear off the screen, but you're going to see how we're going to come back to this. So now let's say we are in a position as the owner. Remember, now we're going to go in halves. So let's say now we start with yellow. If there's a half you're going to take as an employee, as a builder, as a contractor, or if you're looking for a spouse, if you're looking for a partner, what type of person do you want to hire? We're going to now break this down into the middle, left side and right side. Now, let's say we have somebody who's here, skill set and work ethic. That's a great quality, especially if they're 10s, correct? Especially if these guys are 10s. This is a very strong person we want to hire. This is a strong person we want to marry. If they're all 10s, that's amazing. But what if they lack in trust, vision, or character? What happens then? Does this skill set and work ethic matter to you if you can't trust them? What happens if you send somebody to a job site? What happens if you send somebody to a job site and you need them to be honest? You need them to wear their booties. You need them to supply and give a good product. They may have the best work ethic, but what if they have a fight with the customer? What if they steal something from the customer? What if they don't know how to do their job, or they don't have vision and it's just another paycheck for them? They have low character, low trust, low vision, but they're the best workers. We understand that's somebody who's not going to be with you long term, true or not. So we understand work ethic and skill set individually are great qualities, great traits to have. But at the same time, if they just have work ethic and skill set and nothing else, that's a limited position. This is limited. True or not? That's a limited position because these individuals are going to come and go. They're going to jump to the next company because they got offered $1 more. They're going to jump to the next company because they didn't like what you said. They didn't like how you said it. They don't like how you keep them accountable. You may be a leader, but they don't like you keeping them accountable. Right? Vice versa. Let's say we flip it again now. And this is where the definitions come into play, guys. Okay. So now we're going to focus on character and trust and vision, right? So now we have character and trust, this half, right? And now let's play the scenario, the guessing game, the scenario. Let's run it back to the other side. Let's say you have character. Let's say you, an employee, has great character. You can trust your employee. Your employee even has, let's say, mid vision, right? Your employee has mid vision, but low work ethic, low skill set. Would you hire this person? And remember, we're blue collar. Remember, we're contractors. Remember the skill trades. We hire apprentices for that reason. True or not, they need to learn the skill. They need to know the work ethic, right? That's why we have an apprenticeship program, guys, because you understand, as long as this dude shows up, as long as I can keep trusting him, as long as he has the vision for himself, sees the value in the trades, we can build up on these skills. Plus, remember the definition of work ethic and skill set? It's the consistent growth. Remember? So they can be low here, but as long as they have character, trust, and vision, you can build them up. True or not, build them up. And that is a good recruit. So it's safe to say we want people here. It's safe to say I will take this over this, because this you can invest into him and he can grow and he'll stay with you long term and forever. Versus here, if you have a great employee who's great at work and he doesn't have trust or character, is he going to stay with you long term? No, because he's always going to find the next opportunity, especially if he can't trust you, especially if he has no vision. We understand this guy is limited. This guy you don't want long term. You know what I mean, guys? So let's keep that in mind. So now this is good and bad, good and bad in the extremes. So how can we view this one last time? So when it comes to understanding the value of these 5 characteristics, we have to understand everything. So we have top, bottom, left, right, crisscross now. So we understand right now, right off the bat, we have to view this map like this. We have to view it like this. We have to view it like this, and we have to view it like this. But we're going to focus on these 5 characteristics, and we're going to shade it in. Remember, we all want 10s across the board, correct? We all want this. Even mid, past 5, we'll take. So we want all of this. This is ideal for us. This is happy. And everything in the red, we don't want. So now we have down here, low. We don't want this. Let me try to get this thick for you guys. Thick. Yeah, like that. We don't want this. So if you guys are on, there you go. Just in case if you guys want to comment, just in case I can't see it, we're just coloring it in, but follow along with the PDF guide. We understand we don't want guys here because they're low trust, low character. We understand we want individuals up here now. Oop. Let me scroll this down. We want individuals up here. This is what we are aiming for. We also know we want individuals who are with character. There we go. Let's cover it in. We understand we want people with character and trust. So if we look at the chart this way, right? We want somebody with great character, trust, even a little mid-vision, right? Even if they have great work ethic, and this, you have to decide. So basically, putting this thing into a color perspective, putting this thing into perspective for you, this is telling you what type of individual you want to hire. If you're going to hire somebody with character, trust, vision, work ethic, skill set, you want to make sure they aiming for up here, 10s all across the board. If they're down here on anything, you want to make sure they have character, trust, and vision, that it's a top, right? This area down here in red, we want to make sure that we avoid these individuals. You understand? We want to avoid these as much as possible. This access. So we got the blue on this side, we got the red on this side, right? We want to make sure we stay away from this area. We want to make sure we stay away from these guys. So mid, low, high, low to high, high, low to low, mid, high, low to low, mid in character and trust is somebody you can work with, right? But everybody low character and below, you don't want to cross this line. This is the no-go, the no good. This is the no good employee. This is the no good leader. This is the no good contractor. This is the no good spouse. This is the no good customer. We want to recognize that we have a window of opportunity, and that's here, of growth to win. This whole area is an opportunity for you to find the right people, to grow and to win. These are the type of people you want to invest in. Now, how does this fit into everything? This is just a representation of what we can do to be better, to grow, and to put a visual representation on the type of people we want to work with. Once we recognize what's a no-go on a person based off of their character, trust, work ethic, vision. This makes life so much easier because we don't need to worry about being offended. We don't need to be worried about firing an employee if they're down here. Yet, the people we want to invest into, people we want opportunities to grow with, their character traits are all up here. You see? All up here. And I know I messed up here, so it's all of this. All of this is good. All of this is good. So let's keep that in mind, guys. There is more good out there, more opportunities for growth out there than there is bad. And somebody who's in a leadership position has to understand how to juggle all these things. Somebody in a leadership position wants to be able to make the right decision based off the information that he has. And guess what? When you look at your team, there's very few people who are just heartless all across the board. Very few. You will always have more opportunities to help people. That's why when it comes to hope, that's why when it comes to taking care of people, you never go wrong with taking care of individuals because there's more of these guys in the world that are looking for opportunities to grow. Now you may say, is it possible that the generation doesn't have this? Absolutely. This is just to put into perspective for you guys. Now, so many people want to say, how do we gauge that? How do we know how to hire somebody like that? Right? What's there? How do you measure someone's character, trust, vision as a contractor? Well, we're going to start going down into different leadership, self-reflection questions for you. And if you're, once again, a build member, you have all of these on your charts. But I wanted to talk to you guys primarily because this is the opportunity now where so many individuals get to ask questions about what there is or how a person can find a contractor or an employee or a customer based off of characteristics trust. So in build, once again, we're going to be coming into the skill trades to tackle all things in the skill trades. We're going to grow to so many different capacities to the point where one of our tiers on our vision board, if you remember, if you guys saw it and went to our builder's business blueprint, you saw how we're going to be jumping into HR services. That's going to be happening towards the end of the year. So this isn't a pitch or anything. But what I want to explain for you guys is the fact that this is so needed across the industry that we are having a division just for hiring. We understand there's contractors out there who look for vetted people and they use systems like LinkedIn. They use systems like different companies that out there offer jobs. Like, give me a few of you. If you guys are in the comments, please help me out. I'm trying to think of some of the names where people, Indeed, there's other people like a job recruiter. There's different programs out there that people are currently using so that they can find new employees. But once again, how do you find a good employee based off of what metric, based off of their work history? A lot of people don't have the time for that. And guess what? If you're a mom and pop shop starting off, you don't have the funds or resources to now hire a company to do that. So what happens to us, the mom and pop shop? We end up trying to find the guy with the great work ethic, the great skill set, right? To throw him on a job. Once again, if you go on Instagram and you see somebody looking for an employee, what are you going to see? I'm looking for a guy with 3 to 5 years experience. Let's break that down. Why do you want somebody with 3 to 5 years experience? So you can leave them on a job site. You see the cycle we're bringing ourselves to. You leave him on a job site, but you didn't vet his character. You didn't see if you trust him, if he has vision. What's going to happen? Now, everything is going to go good until it doesn't go good. That's what we want to recommend. That's what we want to realize. All of this is going to be, hey, it doesn't matter. It doesn't apply to me. I'm just going to go keep doing what I'm doing. I'm looking for a guy with 5 years experience. I'm going to leave you on your own. Once again, character, trust, vision. You're telling me you're killing it, but you're not telling me how you're going to vet these individuals. That just puts into perspective the different playing fields we're on. If you guys are builders, if you guys are leaders, you're understanding there is so much more to contracting than just doing the freaking job. And that's what I want you guys to remember. If you are looking to hire someone so you can throw them on a job site just so they can make you money and you're not going to vet them, you are walking on thin ice because what's going to happen? They're going to do something, they're going to mess up, they're going to cause an issue. And guess what? Just like what we said, if they are happen to be across the board, you found the unicorn. I'm not saying there's no unicorns out there. I'm just saying if you hit all 10, even better for you guys. But what you need to take precaution on, and once again, we're not saying this to scare tactic. No, we're saying this, take ownership. You are a leader. Ask the right questions. Ask the right questions, understand who they are with their character, and understand how they're going to fit into your business. The same when it comes to a contractor, a customer, the same thing. Customers may say, hey, I'm gonna give you more work. I'm gonna give you more work. Work ethic, you can't gauge work ethic because they're giving you the work. So their work may be a lot, but what if they don't pay you when the job's complete? What if they don't pay you and you don't trust them that they're gonna pay you on time? Once again, you may have a customer, and I've said all the time, never look, people say don't lower your prices. I say be strategic with your pricing because there's time where you can lower and still make money. I understand there's contractors who always try to keep like, hey, I'm gonna give you more work. I'm gonna go give you more work. You give them a lower price and they never give you another job. And then they want to hold back on payments. I understand that. Once again, those are like the unicorns. Not every person's going to be the right customer for you. But what happens? This chart makes sense to you when you have a customer who isn't going to pay you. When you start getting those bills piled up, when you start recognizing, oh no, I got to pay for all these things. And guess what? I have no money. Well, guess what? Now character, now trust, now vision matters to you. Just like if you have an employee who he's a 10 worker, 10 this, 10 that, but he goes and screws up a job and he doesn't take ownership. And he says, F you, I don't need to work for you. F you, why are you talking to me like that? Now character, trust, and vision become a metric out of nowhere. That's why I say, as contractors, we have so many opportunities in the skill trades. You can become a leader, you can be your own contractor, you could be a crew lead. But just because you have that position doesn't make you an authentic leader. That's something that we learned that you have to constantly grow and work towards. It's continuous growth. It's not a one and done. And that applies to contractors, hiring employees and partners, looking for the right customer. All of this stuff is resources for you to take action on what you can, because we understood leadership is actions, and actions are based off of good working habits. All leaders have great habits, but not all habits make great leaders. I want you guys to keep that in mind, all right? We just finished a whole hour of this presentation on why leadership is so valuable. Now I want to open it up to floor for you guys, Q&A. If you guys want to answer some of these review questions, we can do that together. Or if you guys have any questions in general about today's live, feel free to jump on. If you guys see value in this, feel free to jump on the poll. If there's any way we can improve, please reach out to me. Please reach out to the team and let us know what we can do for you. So just as a recap, we're going to open up the PDF one more time. Once again, this is available for all Build members. If you're not a part of Build, yet you're looking to get into Build, feel free to reach out to us. All right, so we're going to jump right over here to Ben, leadership self-reflection questions. So once again, as we talk about leadership, we understand this is not to judge anybody. This isn't to say what you're doing is wrong, what you're doing is right. This is to understand that we have to constantly grow to be more effective as a contractor. So contractors, how do I demonstrate accountability and integrity on the job site? Remember, if you're a company owner, apply this to your team. How can they demonstrate accountability? Do one-on-one reviews based off of this information. Trust. How do I build trust with my team, clients, partners? Or vice versa, how can I trust my team, clients, partners? Vision. What is my long-term vision, my business, and how do I share it with others? Work ethic. What examples am I setting with my work ethic, and how does it impact my team? And then last but not least, oh, so sorry, guys. Isn't it loading for up? There, it's side by side. Skill set. What skills am I developing and how am I helping others grow professionally? And last but not least, remember what we mentioned. Who is your ideal customer? What qualities should an ideal customer have? How can I apply these principles to identifying, but at the same time, attract the right customer? All of this, guys, is resources for you to take home. All of this is to do your analysis, self assessment, where you can see, hey, is there areas maybe I can improve on? All of this because of you guys. I truly appreciate each and every one of you. It's 2 o'clock now. We know this session ends at 2:30, but now we want to open it up to the floor, some Q&As. Whatever you guys have in mind, feel free to share with us. Hope you guys are doing well. Enjoy the rest of your day. Kick off Friday. Now that we understand our builder's business blueprint, we have our builder's business blueprint, we have our vision goal for 2025. We now understand and have the qualities to be an effective leader. That's why we have so much emphasis on leadership development. You have a plan, you want to grow. Now you have the tools and resources to be the great leader we already know you guys are, to attack those goals in an effective, efficient manner. So I appreciate each and every one of you guys for joining us here at the Build Association. We want to thank you guys and invite you guys, if you're looking to jump into the membership, feel free to ask any questions. Feel free to ask some members. But we're here for you guys. If you guys have any questions, feel free to jump on the mic and feel free to introduce yourselves to everybody. Thank you, everybody. Be safe. How's everybody doing so far? Thank you guys for today's class. We appreciate each and every one of you. It truly means a lot. Ooh-wee. So let's see. We have Rich, we have Stelman, JP, Guillermo, Cameron. We got a full house today. I appreciate all you guys for jumping on. I think there's somebody else, but I can't see. Oh, there. And Ibierto. Appreciate all you guys. Once again, if you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, feel free to share. I pinned up all the mics, so if you at any point, if you guys want to jump on, feel free. I got a lot to work on. I appreciate you guys. Remember, all of this stuff, resources available for you guys. So this video is also going to be recorded. You guys can play it back. You guys can run it back. So feel free to jump on and ask anything you have. Cameron, you rose your hand.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yep, nice and clear.
Hey, so I'm Cameron with Tennessee Electrician. So my question is, as just being someone who's by myself, meaning I don't have a team, I don't have employees, other than, exercising these qualities on the job site, maybe with your GC, what are some ways, if you're by yourself, you can better your leadership skills, even though you're not really leading anybody?
I love that. Once again, when we break down this chart, leadership is not a position. Leadership is action. So you can become a leader even when you don't have anybody to lead. But when you are a leader and you're working on these traits, when you're working on these habits, you're always going to attract people. You're attracting other people to lead. It's that relationship where so many people say, well, I'm looking for a girl like this. But you aren't at that position yet to even attract that type of girl. And if you attract her, you're not going to hold her because you faked it till you made it, but then you're not going to retain the girl. So this chart puts it into perspective, everything that you need to do a self assessment and then work on each set goals. For example, if you work on all these and you're a 10 across the board, you're perfect. You're the unicorn. You're a leader. You're going to start attracting people. But guess what? This side of leadership funnels into your other life. If you're a great leader, you're going to be a great contractor. You're going to get great customers. You're going to have great relationships. All of this stuff is a self-assessment, understanding who you are. As you start growing, all these things trickle into your life. You work on self-development, you work on leadership, you're going to be a better husband. And then your wife's going to love you more. Then your kids are going to look up to you more. You're working on yourself. All those other things are added bonuses. All that stuff is attracted to you when you start developing all these type of things? That's a very good question. But if you have nobody to work on, guess what? Or you don't have a team, this is the time to work on leadership. Because guess what? If you are a leader, guess what? It's going to be easier when you hire someone because you're going to lead effectively. Versus, let me hire somebody and I'm not a leader, and now you're going through the road issues that what we talked about. Remember, if you have low character, low trust, but you have great work ethic, and the guy coming in doesn't trust you, doesn't see your character, he's not going to stay with you. So this is something to do a self-assessment, recognize what skills you need to develop so that you can be better when you go into a leadership position and take ownership. Appreciate you with that question, brother. How about anybody else? Anybody else has any other questions, comments, concerns?
Hey, well, I don't really have a question, but I was gonna comment on that. Um,
Please.
so basically, I'm an older brother. I have a little brother. So like,
Mhm.
without realizing it, my whole life I was a leader because, I was just basically I'm a lead by example guy my whole fucking life. But I just always wanted my brother to follow in my footsteps in a sense.
Love
He
that.
didn't, but that's another story. But I'm just saying, like, I just wanted him to be a man's man and be respectful and be good. And it doesn't have to be about work. It doesn't be about your character and stuff. How do you want people to view you? And how
Mhm.
you want to be viewed, you should want your people to be viewed as well. So you would hope they would emulate you. Um, and I've noticed it. I mean, you saw my story yesterday, but over the
Yep.
years, employees, I've had a couple of times where clients called me and said, "Hey, this guy 6 months ago, I wasn't a fan of him, but now I like the guy. You did something to him." And in my head, I didn't do anything, but he must have emulated and saw like how I carry myself in a sense.
There you go. And what I appreciate about what you said, Mike, so one, appreciate you opening up, especially with your story about with your family, your brother. Now, not to mention your brother, but put that same context as a contractor, for example, right? Let's say you led by example and you hoped he followed, right? Let's now switch the roles. You as a contractor and an employee, are you okay with losing that employee if you did everything possible in your own hands and they chose not to follow? You know what I mean? Like I
Yeah.
had that conversation with my employees this week. This is our expectation. This is what I'm standing for. I'm doing this, this, this. Are you willing to join in? They said no. It sucks to fire the guy. You know what I mean? But at that same
Yeah.
time, at least as long as you know what you're doing is 100%. If you're striving up here, it may hurt. We're not talking about the feeling side of things. We're talking about you have to be okay with understanding that everybody's not just like a customer, true or not. Not every customer is your cup of tea. You can't, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's the decision making with the empathy of understanding, yeah, this is a tough call, but that's what leaders have to do. A leader stand on something. That's taking action. Going with the wind is not taking action. So you're a perfect example of that. I appreciate you, brother.
No, you're welcome.
How about anybody else? Anybody else has an example, perspective, suggestion, comment, or wanted to comment on Mike or Tennessee's viewpoint? Let me see. Everyone's on. Perfect. If nobody else has anything they want to mention, just wanted to say thank you again one more time, everybody. So I appreciate each and every one of you for joining today on our blueprint to leadership. Truly appreciate each and every one of you giving your shares, your insight, your questions, your concerns on how to develop great leaders. As well as contractors, we understand now that leadership is not a position. Leadership is taking action. Actions are based off of good habits that we have, and not all habits make a great leader. So appreciate you guys for taking that into account today. Hope everything goes well. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, feel free to message us separately. But we will want you to guys have a good Friday. Take full advantage of it. Keep building leaders, guys. Appreciate you. Bye.